Good afternoon, you handsome lot. As you can see on the ramp today, we've got a 2017, I think it is, Volvo XC60, I think. Yeah, it is an XC60. I am absolutely hopeless with these new models and remembering them all. All I know is it's a Volvo. And today we've got a full set of discs and pads going all the way around. The first thing we're going to do is jump in the vehicle, grab my VCI, and we're going to get it plugged in. Now, one of the first things that I do like to do when I've got diagnostics plugged into a vehicle is do a full system scan, create a port, so we can give it to the customer with any underlying faults that they are unaware of. But we need to jump around to commonly used special functions. Brake pad replacement is going to give you a few little conditions that we need to meet. Battery is a good voltage, ignition on, etc, etc. Jump around to activation and service. Can't come in. And we're going to go there, start the service mode, release the brake pads. And this now is going to wind back the calipers. And put them into service mode so we can push the pots back to change the pads. Now within brakes now into service mode, we need to take the vehicle up in the air and get the wheels off. Now one thing that I've done over the years many times is left a locking wheel nut in the vehicle, so make sure you've got that hand to get the vehicle up in the air. And there we have it, that now is all four wheels off. Let's grab my little torch, my little Boxo torch. Now you know what, I love this little inspection light. The rear brake discs are not in that bad of a condition, but the pads are almost on the metal. And if we come around to the front of Rooney, the pads are almost on the metal again, and the discs are in a poor condition. Let's go around to the other side, let's have a little look. Well, the discs ain't the best, and we are almost on the metal as well. Right, let's get round now to replacing these brakes. Now the first thing that we're going to be doing is removing all the little dust caps off the bleed nipples. Now let's move round to getting these pads out. Now how I like to do these pads is remove the fluid out of the old caliper. The reason being that there's lots of people out there that are doing pad slaps and they're not doing anything about the fluid. Now that fluid in that caliper has probably been in there 40,000 miles, never been changed. Who has their brake fluid changed? So what we do, clamp the brake line, grab your 10mm, slacken off that bleed nipple. Now, what I like to do as well, grab a little hammer, give the area a little bit of a tap around the nipple, and once it's open, we can push that pot back now, and all that fluid will come out of that caliper, and it's not being pushed back into the cylinder. Now you're probably wondering why I do it like that. For the simple reason being, I don't like pushing the fluid because I've been bitten over the years. So many people are going to say, oh, I've never had a problem, I don't care. That's how, if you want to do it like this, your way, this is how I do it, my way. When you're pushing the pots back, if you don't take the fluid out of the caliper, as it's going back through the system, you can damage the seal in the master cylinder. You can fold them over and you'll lose your brake pedal. I've always done it like this for many years. Finished product, the customer always compliments on how good the brake pedal is. I've now gone ahead and removed the caliper. Now these sliders on these, they are 11mm, and same as the Freelands and stuff. Hang the caliper up. We don't want it dangling on the flexible brake hose, it saves damaging it. Just get an old exhaust hook and just clip it up to the spring, out of the way. Now we can go ahead and remove the caliper carrier. With that caliper carrier now off, I've gone ahead and I've given it a bit of a clean where the brake pad fits. Now how I do it is with a little bit of a file, because the amount of people that use these drills and there's still corrosion and the pads don't slide smoothly enough, so grab yourself a little file, just take it down just so it's nice and shiny. You don't need to go mad with it because you don't want them brake pads rattling. And also we've gone ahead and cleaned all the fascias where everything fits back together, including the dry flange. We won't get the new discs out and get them fitted. And of course the brake discs and pads that we're going to be using on this vehicle are Borg & Beck. Please people, do not think for 1 minute that I am sponsored or getting paid by Borg & Beck to say good things about their product. I have generally used them over the years and they have been flawless. Should we go ahead now and get these new brakes fitted to the vehicle? Now, I have also cleaned down the brake caliper sliders. Always make sure that everything is nice and clean. Right, let's chuck it into a bit of a time lapse. Let's move around now to the back, and we're going to do exactly the same. Get that dirty fluid out of that caliper. We've clamped the hose. Now this tool, it is by Snap-on and it is for doing brake pads. Is it a part number on it? MPB 510A. Brilliant tool that. If you haven't got one, you need to go and get one. Make sure that that nipple's open. And this caliper now should push back and all that fluid come out the caliper perfectly. Alright, as you can see, I've gone ahead and removed the caliper carrier. Now this grub screw holding the disc on is very, very tight. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how tight it is. Let me flip this camera around. Right, get me a big hammer. Give it a good clack. A little impact gun. Oh, it's come out this time. I was just about to get me vibro gun. Oh well, never mind. Now as you can see, I've gone ahead and fitted the new brakes, but on the rear calipers we've got these little sliders. Now pull them out, give them a bit of a wipe with a rag, a small little bit of red rubber grease on the end of it, slide them back in and make sure that they both pull in and out nice and freely, because you don't, because if they're not free you're going to get an uneven pad wear. Why is my camera glaring like it is? I don't know. Yeah, right, we're going to put this side on and then finish the other two sides. The other two sides? You know what I mean. Well, I've now gone ahead and fitted all the discs and pads all around the vehicle. And they are looking brand new. And of course, we always date the discs. Now, let's drop the ramp down, pump the pedal. Now we're in the vehicle, one of the most important things to do after changing brakes is pump that brake pedal up and make sure it goes nice and hard. Now we need to move round, put the ignition on, jump out of the vehicle. Oh god. It's a bit of a squeeze. We can jump back on the tab now. And exit the brake pad, make sure the ignition's on, click OK, and that will wind them pads out, not the pads, wind the calipers out. And last but not least, we're going to be giving this vehicle a brake fluid change as well. As you can see, I'm just pulling all that old brake fluid out of the reservoir. We're going to be using the Launch Pro Brake 1, and this is absolutely insane. Now when bleeding brakes always start furthest away, which is normally the passenger side rear. Now that machine is on, it's holding pressure at 2 bar. We can come around now, crack our nipple open, and that fluid will come out into our lovely little catch can. You see it coming out? Now I've gone around all the other 3 wheels and we're finally finishing off on the driver's side front. Now I'm going to try and put this into a little bit of a time lapse for you, because normally when you can see the fluid changing colour. So we're going to have a little look, see what we can do. Well, as you can see now, that car is all on the floor and it is boxed off. The brake fluid is topped up. We're going to get the bonnet closed now. And the reason why the car's running is because it's getting nice and cold in here. So I'm going to take it for a little bit of a test drive. Right, now we're inside the vehicle, and again, make sure that your pedal is nice and hard. Now, one thing that I do like about the Borg & Beck stuff is they give you a little flyer to hang on your rear view mirror, and it tells you all the information, what they care about having new brakes, for what you need to do and what you don't need to do. Unreal. Right, let's take it for a little bit of a test drive. Now, I tell you what an absolute beautiful day, and it's nice to be out in a car. Great air conditioning. And one thing that these Volvos have got, which is very good, is the air conditioning. And when you're testing these brakes, just apply gentle pressure and make sure the car's pulling up nice and straight. Now, you may get a little bit of a grinding noise, obviously, but that is just the paint that they put on the discs to protect them in transport. I can't get over this weather, it's beautiful. And there's me stuck in a hot, sweaty workshop. I think I've got an X4 now to go back and have some brake pads in. But yeah, what a glorious day. They drive so well, these Volvos, they really do. Brakes are working absolutely perfect. Right, so I'm going to leave it at that, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. Next time you send your car in for brake pads, just ask them, could they change your brake fluid as well at the same time? So I can guarantee you now, you'll have your car back and your car will brake so much more efficiently and more responsive. You'll have more of a good pedal to it. But anyway, I'm going to leave you lot go. So yeah, let's get it sent.